Okay, I'm Scotty Rock.
And I'm Nate Danger.
Oh yeah, and today we're going to talk about...
We're talking about Motley Crue. We're ranking the albums, the studio albums from the worst
to the best.
To the best. I love it.
I love it too, man.
Man, Motley Crue, always one of my favorite bands. Probably, here, I'm going to throw it out there because you guys already know, you know my number one. If you watched the previous videos, you know my number two. And I'm going to put Motley Crue at number three. Number three favorite band of all time.
I'm going to have to, like...
Bronze medal.
Bronze medal goes to Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Motley Crue, for me, was awesome. As a kid growing up, as an adult, I still listen to all the old Crue stuff like I did when I was like 13.
All of it. Unbelievable catalog.
Great catalog. And they had some bumpy spots along the way, some iffy songs, some...
Well,
I don't know.
They've had their highs and lows, that's for sure.
Definitely had their highs, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, well...
let's get into it, man.
Okay, first of all, what's your first Crue memory?
First Crue memory?
Yeah.
What was my first memory of Motley Crue?
Well, I know what mine was. Coming home from school, again, Video Hits is on.
Video Hits?
And it was Too Young to Fall in Love.
And that was the first video you saw?
That was my first exposure to Motley Crue and their kung fu abilities.
Wow.
It was a great song, great video, dramatic kind of storyline to it, you know? Tommy Lee's trying to eat some rice and he's got some ninjas.
All of their videos back then were all like this.
So good, so dark. And
this post-apocalyptic universe world that they were in, right? And it's same thing with like Looks That Kill, and I think Looks That Kill was the first Motley Crue video I probably saw.
Oh yeah. And it was like, for me, that just catching the tail end of that album popularity sort of set me up for going into Theater of Pain, which is kind of where Crue started for me, I'd say. Was Smoking in the Boys' Room.
Man, awesome.
Yeah.
Loved them as a band. Obviously bought the majority of their albums except for one.
Yes.
There's one single studio Crue album that I never bought. And guess what? On the Rock and Danger list, it's coming in as last place.
Last place. So we're going to talk about it first.
Yeah, last place. So we're gonna rank these albums. We're gonna rank them from our least favorite albums to our favorite Motley Crue album. We're each gonna pick a favorite song off the album and talk about it.
We talked about doing this list, and then Danger was like, "What's your list?" And I shared it with him, and it was exactly the same as my list.
Exactly.
Except for
the ranking.
The ranking was, except for like we had two back-to-back that flip-flop there, so we discussed it out.
There was one small difference, and we'll let you know at the end.
Yeah, man.
You gotta stick right to the end in order to hear that.
Stick around.
There it is. That's the call to action. That's why you want to stay.
Stay around. Subscribe it.
Okay.
Okay, worst album, Crue ever. We're at the bottom of the list.
Ninth place. They've got 9 studio albums. That's all we're ranking. Studio. We don't care about Decadence of Dance or Decade of Decadence. And but here we go. Studio albums. Last place, number 9 is
New Tattoo, buddy.
New Tattoo. The only Motley Crue album that I never bought a physical copy of, ever.
I listened to it 4 times collectively, and I'm disappointed every time I listen to it. Mostly, I'm disappointed in myself that I wasted another
Why did I put this on again?
Yeah, right.
That's how I feel with it.
That's how I feel, too. I was like, what a waste of time. Okay, not to be, like, negative, but I like the cover. Okay,
I like the cover, too.
Yeah, I think that's
I like tattoos.
It's one of their better covers. But what didn't you like about it?
You know, okay, so the album comes out in 2000. And it's interesting because you hear a lot of people, and I've seen people, they talk on the internet, and they say, oh, I love this. Mick Mars, this is some of his best solos and whatever else. That's not even Mick Mars playing on that album.
I don't think it is either.
That is not Mick Mars. It doesn't sound like Mick Mars. The guitar tones, everything about it, the playing, the structure, is not Mick Mars.
Mick Mars says, like, he played on it, though. That's what he said. But I don't think did he play on it, and they just replaced his...
Everyone else says he didn't play on it.
That's what I thought, too.
John Corabi says he hasn't played on... Like, Mick Mars hasn't played on an album since...
I read that as well. So
but I don't think it's Mick.
It sounds like someone trying to play like Mick, and we talked
Doesn't even sound like someone trying to play like Mick.
What?
No, it just sounds like someone trying to play. It sounds more like Vince Neil's solo stuff he did.
Vince Neil's solo album was better than New Tattoo. The first solo.
Yeah, I would say so
That
too.
was more.
I would say I didn't like Vince Neil's solo album,
No.
but I definitely don't like New Tattoo. It's coming in at my number 9.
Well, it's my number 9 too. Here's the thing: no Tommy Lee drums on it. Hey, so
Right.
he was out of the band. He quit to do his Method
of
of
Mayhem,
which was like he could have done both. Let's be honest.
oh yeah.
But
Tommy Lee was getting into hip hop, but man, he
Yeah.
didn't care about the rock and roll anymore.
Yeah, it wasn't cool enough. But Randy Castillo, he's a great drummer. He played
Great
with
drummer.
Ozzy and a bunch of other people,
Yeah.
and I think he passed away during that album cycle because they had
Yes, then they brought in
female-
that girl from Hole,
Hole. Yeah.
Samantha.
Yes.
I'll tell you, the best thing about New Tattoo was that live video that they did.
with
Lewd,
Lewd Ridden.
Screwed,
Yeah. I know.
Blue, Dude.
Cool.
That was.
She was
good.
cool.
Yeah.
She was
But-
cool.
Okay, here's the thing: new drummer. Usually Tommy Lee is like, I want the biggest drum sound ever,
Yep.
and then but they get Tommy Lee's not there, so he just gets like the average drum sound.
Average drum sound. Average
Average
guitar sound.
Guitars
Like,
were weird.
it was just weird. It didn't sound like Motley Crue, because
No.
I'm sure it's not Mick. I'll stand on that one forever. So you got Nikki and Vince, and the songs all kind of sound like they're written from for a Vince solo project.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me.
Well,
I don't like the song. Hell in High Heels, weak opener.
wasn't a fan of the video even.
No, the video was stupid, man.
And
They
I
had
like
the
animated
cartoon.
videos, yeah.
I don't like really animated videos. Well, I shouldn't say that. I like the Darkness animated
Oh.
video where nothing's going to stop us. I like that one. But here's the challenge. We got to pick a favorite song on this album, even though we don't like it.
I just want to add to this, okay? To the New Tattoo, this is the first album back with Vince Neil. Even though he played on Generation Swine, the songs were written before Vince rejoined.
Oh, yes.
So this album was written to suit Vince's voice, I feel.
Yep.
And that's why
They wanted to have a more classic Crue sound.
Vince Neil vibe, yeah. And so I think they achieved that, but the songs weren't as good. And I remember Nikki Sixx saying First Band on the Moon's the best song on the album. And I was like, that's the worst for me. Okay, let's do this.
Let's do it. Scotty Rock, tell me, what's your number 1 song on your least favorite Crue album?
Danger, I gotta tell you, this
Okay.
was really hard for me to decide. And so I decided not to pick a best song because I feel like there isn't one. And so I opted
You
out.
can't.
I had
man.
to.
You can't just bail.
I couldn't even pick a good song that I half liked. I couldn't. Sorry.
Okay. Well, that's a cop out.
I know that's a cop out, but what's
Well,
it for
Scotty
you?
Rock, he apologizes to all the fans out there.
I couldn't do it. I don't think there's
Couldn't even pick a good song. There's nothing you're gonna pop in on your CD player.
nothing.
That's why it's in last place.
That's right. It's more of a beer coaster.
Okay, I agree. Some of those CDs have become beer coasters.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. Speaking of beer coasters,
Cheers. Rock and Danger is brought to you by
Blackbridge Brewing, Swift Current. I don't know.
trying to get some sponsorships here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Blackbridge Brewing out of Swift Current.
Thanks for sending us the beers our way.
Yeah, hooking us up with all the free swag.
And man, that car in the driveway is amazing.
Okay. Anyways, I gotta pick a number 1 song on this album, and I'm gonna do it.
Wow. Okay.
I've got one actually.
Wow.
And you know
impressive.
what it is? Punched in the teeth by love. You know what though? You want to know why I love it?
Yeah.
Because the only song that I love on this album is a direct ripoff. They stole the whole thing. It's a direct ripoff of "Rockin' is my business, and business is good."
That's why it sounded like
Yes!
Yeah. Oh my
It's
god. I
the
can't
same
believe-
song.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
I'm gonna listen to it.
Even his vocal line is exactly the same.
Same phrasing
I showed my
and
kids the other day. I was like, listen to
Even
this.
the kids know, hey?
They stole it. Anyways, that's
Okay.
the only good song on that album.
Okay, so here we are.
Number 8.
Number 8. Oh man.
Holy smokes.
This could have been a good time.
Now, for future information, I have bought every other Motley Crue album. So I own everything else, just not New Tattoo.
Right.
So number 8, who's coming in at the number 8 spot?
Oh man, okay, Saints of Los Angeles.
Saints of Los Angeles.
Oh my God.
Okay, to me that was a huge comeback from New Tattoo. The production was amazing.
Yeah.
The songs were better.
Came out in 2008.
Yeah, and it's kind of Motley Crue decided just to be Motley Crue instead of chasing trends a little bit, I'd say.
Well, DJ Ashbaugh and
Okay,
whoever
well,
else.
but to me, this
Somebody else tried to be Motley Crue.
I was going to say, to me, this album is just a 6 a.m. album.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
With
It was all
Vince-
written by
Vince
6
Neil
a.m.
with the dudes in the band. So
Yeah.
what's that about? Did Mick Mars play on it? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't have much
Sorry,
to say.
Mick.
I listened to the album and I liked it better than New Tattoo. There was some good moments. There was like back to the roots moments. There's like some FU moments.
I liked Saints of Los Angeles.
Yep.
I did. I bought it. I really thought the opening track was really cool. I liked the whole storyline that progressed throughout the whole album.
I did too.
I just thought it was I thought it was cool. I liked it, but I was pretty big into 6 a.m. at the time too, so maybe that's why.
It's part of it.
You never know. Never know.
That was, to me, that was when I was listening to Crue at the least, was when that album came out.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know, I was just on other things, I guess, at the time.
Yeah, there's some certain things on there that are maybe don't really stand up. And I know they played MF of the Year or whatever else.
Yeah,
And
that was a good tune.
the tune was okay, but it wasn't really Crue-like. And it's just, I don't know.
Okay, Danger, what's your big hit for this album?
Okay, I'm going to tell you my number 1 on Saints of Los Angeles, the number 8 album. My number 1 is going to be the lead-off track, man, Saints of Los Angeles. When I saw that video, and even they bring up the guys at the end, right? The Buck Cherries, and they got all the guys at the end of the video, and they're all just like this power. I like that. I thought it was great. I think the song is good. I still think it's good. It would remain on one of my Crue playlists for sure. But that's gonna be my number 1 on that album.
Okay, Danger, I'm not too far off on this one.
Okay.
I actually picked one here, this one.
Good.
And
I thought, whoo, here we go.
But for me, as well, Saints of Los Angeles, to me that was like the epitome of a Crue song. It really told their story. I love the gang vocals, because I've been listening to the gang vocal remix. Have you seen those 2 mixes of it? One with the more background vocals.
Really?
Anyways, I'm a fan of that version. I think that's a great tune, man. It is a Motley Crue
Solid
song, and it could have been on like a Dr. Feelgood and fit right in.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome on Dr. Feelgood, actually.
I think so.
Probably would have got a little more life out of it.
So what is it?
Saints of Los Angeles.
Oh, that's your favorite?
That's my song, yeah, sorry.
Oh, man. So we are on the exact same
page on that one. And for the same reasons, you know what I mean?
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So, moving on. What's the next? Coming in at number 7.
Number 7, lucky number 7. What is it? Oh, right. Lucky.
Come on, man.
Lucky number 7 would go to, and we talked about this. It's gonna be Theater of Pain.
No way.
Oh, Theater of Pain. Here's the flip-flop.
Here's the flip-flop. We flipped. Don't tell them we flipped you.
Oh, yeah, but no. This is where we didn't quite agree, and we had to have some conversations offline. We had to talk and say, do you think? Can I sell you on this? Can I sell you on not? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
We determined that Theater of Pain's coming in number 7.
Yeah. There's lots of reasons. For me, it's like a bit biased, because as a kid, this was one of my first albums I picked up.
Chubby kid
eating
nachos.
Eating nachos after school, listening to Crue, getting that finger grease on the cassette thing that I can't ever get off.
Oh, when you get the cassette and all the grease on your fingers, it would rub all the words off, and then you didn't know which was side A or B.
I know, right? So I love that album, and I listened to it. Smoking in the Boys' Room. The video was amazing at the time, with the big sort of story to it. They went from like a Mad Max shoulder pads to like a glam rock kind of vibe, which I liked. It's current, it's colorful. Vince
You like that though. You like that they Crue all changed their style.
I like how they changed from album to album. Different logo on every album, different image for every album.
Yeah.
Makes it sort of timeless. Whereas AC/DC, same logo, same look, same show. but also amazing at the same time. So you can't really.
AC/DC's awesome.
I know. Yeah, don't get me wrong. That's not a slag to them because
we need to do an
100% we
AC/DC
do.
video. Man,
Dude, AC/DC.
Bon Scott or Brian Johnson.
So Motley Crue comes out, Theater Pain. Listen to the album. The production I felt was weird. Like the guitars were more up front. The drums had like a lot of reverb.
It was a different sound.
It seemed like patchwork together. And when I read the dirt, they were saying we were all effed up on drugs. We couldn't function. We weren't using our proper gear. It sounded weird. We're fighting with the producer.
Yeah.
And so, what saved that album was Smoking in the Boys Room video, Home Sweet Home.
That was right when the Twisted.
That was back, Twisted Sister.
Okay. Okay, so that was right when Twisted Sister was coming out, and they kind of had these hokey videos, if you will. Like, they were fun videos.
Storyline
videos. And Motley Crue, I think, kind of decided they were going to do the same, right? With Smoking in the Boys Room.
100% they did.
It's kind of a goofy video.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's all right. I like it. I loved it at the time, but
at the time, it was
again,
awesome.
I was 13.
I know.
12.
Yeah, so that album comes out. Home Sweet. So that single does pretty good, but other than that, it was kind of died a bit.
Yep.
And then Home Sweet Home.
Home Sweet Home. Arguably, the Crue's #1 selling song.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's their highest charting song. I don't know.
It was a massive video at the time.
Massive video.
The
Video was great.
The video was great. Had the band on the road, burnt out, lots of parties. You know, like
Take me home.
Take me home kind of.
Too
vibe.
busy drinking and smoking
Partying,
and sleeping with
So
chicks.
exhausted.
Take me home.
I would say just don't do that stuff and just stay on the road.
I don't know.
But they made it big with that ballad, and I'm gonna say like the year before, Twisted Sister comes out with The Price. Everyone says Home Sweet Home was the first rock ballad, but I'm gonna say it was Twisted Sister.
The
with
Price.
It was
Great
the
song.
First big ballad of that era, I would say.
Yeah.
Because anyways,
Absolutely.
I digress. But is there anything else on that album worth listening to? Like I listen to it now, and the stuff I like brings back memories, and I think that's why I like it.
It's a nostalgia thing,
Yeah,
right? And
right
I get that. So I used to really like Raise Your Hands to Rock. Now I think it hasn't aged well.
Nope.
I have a hard time listening to it. The production on the album's not that great. If it wasn't for Home Sweet Home, and Smoking in the Boys Room, I get it. It's a cover. It is what it is. And Motley Crue did a good version of a cover, but it's not their song. So Home Sweet Home, without that single, that album flops.
Bit of a flop of an album, 100%. I think.
And let's be honest.
Okay.
City Boy Blues is probably the worst opening track for any Motley Crue album, isn't it?
Danger and I talked about
I'd
this
almost
earlier.
put Hell on High Heels higher than that.
You're right, man, because we talked about this. City Boy Blues is the worst song.
You're coming
to
off
open
a
up,
Shout at the Devil.
and this is what you're going to open with? That's what I thought. Even as a kid, I'm like, weak opener.
Yeah.
And I compared it to Stay Hungry, which comes out with Stay Hungry.
There you go.
So that's what I want for a first song. I want energy. But this sounded like a third or fourth song in a track listing on an album. So head out. Vince Neil sounds pitchy on this album to me.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but
It's part of the production. But okay, so let's pick it. #1 song on this album. #7 album. #1 song is
for me it is Louder Than
Hell.
Yes. I was gonna say Louder Than Love, but that's a different song.
Soundgarden.
Louder Than Hell. I thought it was the best song on the album, and I still do. Like, yeah, I just listened to it on the way here, and I thought it verified my my pick here.
Louder Than Hell. I'm going with it too.
Yeah.
My
Oh, really?
#1 pick on that album. And actually, when I bought Carnival of Sins,
Yeah.
right? They got the DVD. You watch
Yes.
it. Louder Than Hell is probably one of the best performances on that whole thing.
I listened to that because I like Louder Than Hell. I searched it up, and I was like, oh, I forgot it was on this album. I listened to it. It was awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That version is so killer.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Which justified by
It used to be Hotter Than Hell.
yes on the demos.
Hotter.
Oh yeah, because it's on the demos. Hey,
Yeah.
there's some Motley Crue demos.
On the Motley Crue demos for anyone who's seen them. Awesome. Okay, let's get on to number 6.
Number 6. Okay, so what do we got here?
6.
Oh yeah, number 6.
I know
Danger.
exactly who number 6 is.
Yep.
Number 6. I love this album. I loved it when it came out. It's none other than 1987's
Yes.
Girls, Girls, Girls.
What?
Yeah, man.
Man, honestly, when this album came out, and I first heard Wild Side, Girls was the first single, right?
Yeah.
I heard it on the radio station at the time, and what was it? It was probably CKOM,
Something
right?
like that.
Back in the day, and it came on the radio, and they talked about the new Motley Crue album, and Girls, Girls, Girls came out, and he's got some drop D tuning on the guitar.
Guitars
It was
are
a
heavy.
different sound. I love the approach that Motley Crue took on this album. Okay, they got rid of all the scarves and the white
Wow.
leather and the flamboyancy and the makeup, and they just went back and they said, you know what? We're gonna put on leather. We're gonna put on the jeans, and we're gonna ride Harleys, and
Yes.
we're gonna rock and roll, and we're gonna hang out in strip clubs, and we're gonna get pissed up.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I loved. It
I
was
love
like,
it too.
holy smokes.
I know that. Oh, so that came in like a June, July, just right before summer. For me, I got up to the lake
Oh.
with my Girls, 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 just blasting.
Yeah.
And I listened to it, but Wild Side was so amazing. When that song came out, I thought Girls, Girls, Girls was awesome, but Wild Side was amazing. That
Probably the best opener of a Motley Crue album.
well, especially coming out.
Well, I shouldn't say that. There's another really, really good opener.
compared to Theater of Pain, right? I mean, there's.
But
there's no
compared to
comparison.
Theater of Pain, it was like, holy smokes, a smash in the face.
Wild Side, Girls, 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 that counts as like 3 or 4 Motley Crue songs because that's how
Absolutely.
good it is. I mean, that is their signature tune.
And for
The
me,
energy, the riff, the lyric sort of topics.
yeah,
Production.
absolutely. And for me, what's the third track on the album? Dancing on Glass. I love Dancing on Glass. And for
I do
those who
too.
don't know, I'm going to say it right now. I used to play in a Motley Crue tribute band. I played in a Motley Crue tribute band. I was a Nikki Six.
Nice.
And you know what? I'm gonna try to find a clip,
Yeah, please do.
an audio clip that we can kind of snip in or whatever. But anyways, for a long time I played in a Motley Crue tribute band, and so I feel like I can experience the songs and the structure and stuff. But Dancing on Glass is such a great
Yep.
tune. I love that song, and even because this is the album we were flip flopping back on.
Yeah,
Right? He wanted theater, I wanted girls.
we talked about it.
But when we talked about, we said, okay, all things considered, talked about production, talked about the songs, talked about the playing. Mick, he does a lot of that really cool slide guitar
He's
stuff.
getting more bluesier, I'd say.
Yeah, but it's still rock and roll.
Yeah, 100%.
And I love songs like All in the Name of Rock, I thought was awesome. You didn't care for Nona. I love
Okay.
Nona.
I'm gonna go back. I kind of.
I love it.
I don't mind it. I like bands that have like 1 minute songs for no reason.
It's totally unique and
yeah.
it's different.
And Crue does this on. If you look at all their albums, they all got like one song that's a
Yeah.
little bit experimental, I guess you could say, for a Crue.
And what was the ballad on that album?
Without You.
No, that's
Oh,
Feel
that's
Good.
That's Feel Good. What is the ballad? It was the second last track?
You're all I
Oh, yeah,
need,
You're All I Need.
to make you mine.
That is a pretty good song. I mean,
It's a good song.
for a ballad.
Yeah, I liked it.
I didn't like Bad Boy Boogie, but other than that, and I was kind of
Bad Boy Boogie, the verse part is okay.
yeah,
This chorus
a
is the
little
greatest.
bit weak. I mean, but you can't have all the hits. They're saving all the hits for the next album. But
Yes.
and I was kind of Elvis Presley covers seemed too easy as let's just throw in a live version of.
See, and I like that.
Yeah.
I like it. Jailhouse Rock. But I was a huge Elvis fan.
I know,
And
me
I
too.
like that they sped it up. I like that they
Rocked
they
out.
did it live. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Look, Vince, he can't sing that good live now. Right? So that's maybe proof that, hey, we are okay live.
I love the song. I love Elvis too as well, and 50s rock in general. But I thought that was an odd choice out of all the songs to pick in the world. But whatever.
I think they were struggling at the time for material. They're just like, let's get this done.
We
That
already-
was, that was right before Nikki was dead.
Yeah, we already wrote Wild Side. What else we got to do?
Such a great
Okay,
song.
so when my band was on tour, we played in Vancouver, and I don't know if you know the story of Girls, 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 but they said they got it outside the strip club where it goes girls, girls, girls. It's like a broken fluorescent
Yep.
thing, and we were standing outside. I'm like, that's the girls, girls, girls sign.
Oh,
You guys.
yes.
And they're like, what? And I told
Where
them,
was
so-
that?
It was in Vancouver. I can't remember
Really?
what club we played at even, but it was like right next door to this strip club, and it just had this dirty old girls, 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 broken fluorescent kind of flashing,
Oh,
you know?
so cool.
seedy, so cool. I can see it.
So cool.
So that's my Girls, Girls, Girls. Great album. It was an awesome summer album. I played
Number
the
one
hell out of it.
song. Pick your number one.
This is like a no-brainer for me, and I know it's a single, but I'm going to go with Wild Side.
And I'm going with Wild Side.
Yeah, how could you not, though?
How could you not?
It's got the
best.
twimely like drum shuffle.
best.
What he does. So
Awesome.
can't really say much more
I'm on the same page.
on that one.
Let's do it. High
Okay.
five.
You.
Take a ride on the wild side.
Oh, we're coming in at number 5.
Number 5. Okay.
Number 5, top Motley Crue studio album. It's gonna go down to
Dr. Feelgood.
Dr. Feelgood. What the fuck? Talk about Dr. Feelgood.
Okay, well, the album comes out. My brother's friend buys it. He stood in line, gets this tape. He's at my house right after school to show me for some reason, because he knows I love Crue.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, so we listened to it together, like right after school. I was like impressed. The sound. I did see the video before I got the cassette, and I thought,
Really?
Dr. Feelgood. That's a weird like chorus. It's like a weird song, like lots of spitting out lyrics. To me, it was an odd choice as a single because it wasn't like this. It's catchy, but it's not like
Catchy.
it's just about a drug dealer song, Dr. Feelgood.
Oh,
He's the one
yeah.
called Dr. Feelgood. That was too many words to say. And I'll tell you why. Because
He's all on the syllable count.
I know.
You know, you gotta have only so many syllables.
here's the why. Because the singer from Bullet Boys re-recorded that version, and he was one of the guys that were pegged as a possible replacement
the
for
Bullet
Vince
Boys.
Neil. And so his version of Dr. Feelgood, he couldn't. Mark Torn, yeah. He couldn't spit out the words fast enough, and it sounded weird. So.
Vince can't spit out the words fast enough. Have you seen his live performances?
I can't. It's too awkward. But that album comes out, and it's all like, the production's amazing. Every song was amazing. I felt like every song at the time was a hit. I was in grade 8 or 9. I don't know what.
Remember Terror in Tinseltown right at the beginning?
Oh, yeah. All that
It's like-
noise going on.
Yeah, and then just when it kicks in with the
Classic Motley Crue kind of groove. You know, Tommy used to kind of doing like that.
ah,
He does like a lot of that open hi-hat stuff. I love
unbelievable.
that. I know, right? What's your?
So the first time I heard the song, it was on the radio. Again, I feel like the radio really introduced me to a lot of Motley Crue back in the day. It's how big they were.
Yeah.
But Dr. Feelgood, that was a moment when it was just like, what is this? And even Metallica, they've said, like, why did they seek out Bob Rock? Is because they heard Dr. Feelgood, and the sound when it kicks in, and just that whole chugging. Oh, there's not much better in the Motley Crue catalog for me than the song Dr. Feelgood.
I know, right?
Like, what a great song. The sound, the chorus, structure, everything, like the recorded version and the guitar solo. And it goes into that raw, what he's talking. There's some the talking and the raw, whatever. Like, and the video and the cars are on fire, and there's this guy giving him drugs. I don't know. It was awesome. I was just like, this is so cool.
It was
And
cool.
Nikki Sixx, he's like all in leather and stuff. Man,
I was like, I want a drug dealer.
I love Dr. Feelgood. That song, man, one of my favorites.
I know, right?
One of my favorites.
And this album had like tons of hits on it, and we saw that tour. Hey,
That's the
we
tour
go
we
together?
saw. Yeah.
And who opened for him? Just to remind me.
Who opened? Who
Was it
opened?
Skid Row again?
No, it wasn't Skid Row.
Was it
Probably
Tesla?
Great White or something.
Oh, no.
Crap like that.
I'm gonna have to give it some thought.
Who did open? I don't know. Obviously, it wasn't that memorable.
No, it was a big band at the time.
Who?
I want to say Tesla. No,
No. Why do you always want to throw Tesla in the mix?
because they're the best opening band ever. Okay, so any other songs on that album that were kind of doing it for you?
There's some good songs.
Yep.
Here, I'll throw it out there. I'm not a fan of Kickstart My Heart. Nope, don't like it.
Wow.
Yeah, even playing it in a Motley Crue tribute band, I didn't want to even play it. Like, I don't like that song. And so many people, that's their go-to.
Yeah.
It's so overplayed. And so
it is. Yeah,
even from the
100%.
first day I saw it, it was just like, I don't know, it didn't really sound like Crue to me.
Oh, really? That was one of my favorites on that album.
Lots of people love it.
Yeah.
I get it. But for me, it just didn't do it. And that's the one song, if I hear it come on the radio for Crue, I
Just turn it off, hey?
turn it off. I don't dig it.
What?
I liked some other stuff on there. Like, I liked Slice of Your Pie. I thought was a really, really cool song, right? There was some stuff that I used to like that maybe I don't like as much now, like
Yeah.
She Goes Down. And
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. Overall, it was okay. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't care for on that album.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I felt like I liked it at first, and then it kind of like wore me out a little bit. It was too much sugar, I guess.
Too much happy pop.
Yeah.
I talk about a song like Rattlesnake Shake.
Mhm.
Uh,
And,
I
to me,
didn't
that's the
ever-
weakest song on the album.
It's got horns.
Not
It's
even.
all happy chords.
Yeah, it's not
it's
even
all-
real horns though. It's just like the keyboard stabs.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like Motley Crue.
No. Why?
No.
Why is there horns on a Motley Crue?
I don't know.
It's just a radio.
Just horn blasts here. and
Yeah, yeah.
there.
Okay, so what was your number one hit on that song? I mean,
Number one, come on. I said it. Dr. Feelgood.
Oh, Dr. Feelgood.
It's gotta be.
That was- okay.
Gotta be Dr. Feelgood. It's gotta be the title track. That's
Yeah.
the best song on the album. Hands down. I don't think there's a better track on that album.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Well, what's the Scotty Rock number one?
Okay, Danger. Listen, I couldn't pick one, but I did. Pick one.
Again?
No, it's not because I didn't like it. Because I like the other songs too. I'm flip flopping.
Pick one
to
right now.
Don't Go Away Mad.
Oh, hey, that's a good song.
That I think that was my favorite. It's strummy. It's kind of campfire.
Yeah.
Song. The song sings itself, and I like the changes. It sort of changes the vibe near the end of the song.
Sail away.
Yeah.
Forget the freight train.
Right?
Oh, that was a fun song, and I tell you, being a bass player in a Motley Crue tribute band, playing that song was super,
was
super
it?
fun. Yeah, it was super good.
Just a good song to play.
Just a
the
fun.
song, yeah.
The bass, the progression, the chords and stuff. It's just a fun riff
Yeah.
to play.
My other one was Kickstart the Heart. Kickstart My Heart. I love that tune.
Yeah, I get it.
Because I like the energy behind it. But you're right. It's so overplayed that it's hard to listen to now.
Yeah, it's just.
But Don't Go Away Mad. I don't know, for whatever reason, it just...
I like that.
That's a great tune.
I'm on page with you there.
Yeah.
Don't Go Away Mad. Great song.
Great
Perfect.
arrangement. Vince can sing it, I feel like, without sort of pushing the boundaries. The melody's great.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Sail away, I catch a freight train or rocket ship into outer space. Nothing left to do. 2 minutes.
Oh,
We're going
man.
on to number 4.
I'm excited for this one.
Okay. What Motley Crue studio release is coming in at number 4? Come on, bring it.
Oh, Generation Swine.
Generation Swine.
No way!
Woo! This is something that people are going to be like, what? Are you guys crazy?
Yes.
Scotty.
Okay, here's the thing. If you take 2 songs off of this album,
Yep.
Brandon,
Take off Brandon.
take off Rocket Ship, because that's the one Nikki Sixx sings on.
Yeah, but I don't mind that.
I don't
It's got
mind
a
it, but-
David Bowie type feel
Kind
to
of
it.
thing.
I like it, actually.
I get it, but I would say, like, Nikki Sixx shouldn't sing in a lead vocal ever.
Everyone wants their chance, man.
Yeah, I guess. Everyone's played with a drummer that wants to sing, right?
Yeah.
So, Generation Swine comes out, and here's why I love it. Because it's the follow-up to the Motley Crue album with John Corabi.
Follow up to Motley Crue.
The songs on this album, I think, are great. Vince Neil comes... So, they wrote all the songs with John Corabi.
Yep.
He was intended to sing on this album. And then they got Vince Neil back because of the record and public pressure. So they changed the key of the songs. Everything shifted up to suit Vince's
Yeah.
voice. But if you listen to it, you can hear the melody of Vince's voice sounds like something John Corabi would sing if you listen. And how the guitars, the melody goes here and the guitars kind of drop in and cut out and stuff. If you listen to it closely, you'll
Yeah.
hear it as the follow up to John Corabi, and it would have been amazing.
I just think it.
But I think the songs are really good. Afraid has that wicked bass line thing that's moving around, like
So cool.
Joy Division style.
The video for Afraid was
I
awesome.
know. I like that. Everyone.
That girl in that big
Yeah.
skirt cage.
Skirt Cage, yeah. And what was a couple other songs? Generation Swine, I really like.
Find Myself.
Find Myself some drug.
Oh, destruction!
And, so
I love that. Isn't that that's Tommy Lee's kid screaming at the end? Destruction!
oh, is it really?
Yeah, I like it.
But anyways, I like it because I think it could have been a great album with John Corabi.
I think it's a great album with Vince.
I know, I do too. But I think it could have been.
It would have been
a
good
better
with John
fit.
Corabi.
Yeah.
Now, I'm told John Corabi's played guitar on that album.
Yep.
So I don't know how much Mick played, how much John Corabi played, but he had a part in that album, I'm sure.
Well, and he showed Vince Neil how to sing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, here's the melody lines. This is how I sing it.
It's a good album.
It's a good album.
I put that on. I like that album. I like how it starts. I like the songs like Confessions and
Yep.
stuff. It kind of goes all over the
A
map,
little bit.
but
Still within
even
that Motley
like
Crue.
Let Us Pray and
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
and it's cool.
Yeah.
And I think the first time I heard this album, I think it was at your house. I think we were at your parents' house back in the day. Popped it in on the old ghetto blaster.
Yeah.
And I think that was my first exposure to it. And I love this album. And in 1997, I moved to Toronto. I was playing with a band and kind of touring around. And this became my album that I would fall asleep to every single night.
Oh, really?
I would put in Generation Swine, and I would sit there and I'd pop it on, crank the tunes, and Glitter would come on, and by then I was
Oh.
KO'd. And I love Glitter.
Okay, did you know Bryan Adams co-wrote that? It's a Bryan Adams tune.
Did he?
Yeah.
It's a great song.
And it's also on
Great
that
song.
Carnival of Sins live album.
Yeah, I know. I like they did that little medley, that
Yeah.
mashup of 3 ballads. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. So that's
Cool.
Generation Swine. What's your top pick for that album?
Top pick, Generation Swine for me. She's my beauty.
Oh.
Color mystified. My black beauty.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
That's a good tune.
That is a great song. And in 97, when I was cruising around all over Ontario, that was something, and they were pumping it on the radio out there.
Oh,
and
really?
It's such a cool groove. It's different than Motley Crue, I get it. You got Tommy singing and different things and
Yeah.
whatever else, but it's just a great song.
The album as a whole is good.
Yeah.
It's good.
What's your number one?
My number one is anyone out there? Anybody out there?
Is anybody out there?
I love that because I love.
It's
punk
only
rock.
like 1 minute and 42 seconds.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. But I love punk rock, so this was like a no-brainer for me. Hey, like Motley Crue kind of doing the punk rock thing. I know online they kind of got jeered a bit, like trying to be like, oh, pop punk, but I never heard that in that song.
No.
It does the verse, chorus, solo, verse, chorus, solo.
Yeah.
I love the 2 solos after the choruses.
Straight ahead.
And then what else did I like about it?
Hammer it home.
Just it's up tempo, it's fast, it's short,
Yeah.
and it's punk rock. And to me, early Crue was punk rock. You know what I mean? So it's not like
Yeah.
it was a big stretch for them to play something straight ahead and fast because they were part of grew up on the Sex Pistols and like the first era of punk. So
Love it.
To me, that's my tune. And if I was in a band, that's the Crue song I would play here's a cover.
100%.
Yeah, man.
Love it. Love it.
Wanna be your dog, wanna be your man. Let rain speed on sin, 'cause I'm going way too fast. They call her Mystic Mind. She's sober all the time. Los Angeles police.
Yeah, here we go. What do we got for number 3?
On to the next, number 3. Number 3, it's coming in. It's the self-titled 1994 release.
Motley Crue.
Crazy.
Motley Crue with the one and only
John Corabi.
John Corabi.
How amazing is this album?
Man, this album is unbelievable.
I know, right?
I love it. I love the direction. I love the sound. I get there's lots of people who think, hey, it's not really Motley Crue without Vince. But the songs on this album still stand up today as some of the best stuff that they've ever done.
100%. You nailed it, man. There's really not much to say about it other than what you said. Every song's amazing. The production's awesome. Everything sounds heavier.
Oh.
The Tommy Lee drum groove and the sound.
And they got the two guitars.
John
Corabi, he's an awesome player.
And Mick Mars even said this is his favorite album because he can play off of a second guitar player and not just be the guy playing guitar. Which I thought was cool dynamic. Obviously the voices are different, but we were both fans of John Corabi's Let It Scream album. The Scream. That was
such a great band.
Because we had that for a couple of years, and then I remember talking, like, he's the new singer for Crue. We were stoked.
We were so excited when we found out that he was the one chosen to replace Vince. And what a great album.
Great album, yeah.
You know, all things aside, and I get if you love Vince and whatever, and maybe you like the Vince solo album better. I didn't like the Vince solo album.
I didn't mind it.
Sister of Pain, and it
was just like
it was just
Crue light.
I was all about this album.
Yeah.
And John Corabi, such a great performer, musician. I thought he was an awesome fit, but obviously,
I think he balanced out the Nikki Sixx lyrics too a little bit too.
Yeah.
Kind of brought a different edge to it.
Get that blonde-haired guy out of there, eh?
It was so good.
It was good.
I'll never forget putting it on. Just like, this is so different from Crue, but it's like so much better than some of their. Definitely better than Theater of Pain.
Absolutely. The production's awesome. Yep. Different type of songwriting because obviously you got John Corabi in the mix who writes a little different and he's coming out of the Scream and whatever else. But my first video that I saw in the introduction to this album, Hooligan's Holiday, oh my god,
that was so rad.
What a song! What an album! The drum sound when it kicks in, like it's still one of my favorite Crue songs. Hooligan's Holiday. It's amazing.
The only problem I have with this album is they're probably not going to play any songs from it ever again, which is too bad.
That's right. Yeah. Too bad.
And
maybe
also,
one day when Vince is old and retired.
Well, John Corabi plays these tunes.
I know he does.
On the solo stuff.
We should go to Vegas and watch John Corabi play all these tunes. That would be awesome.
So, yeah, there you have it.
Yeah.
Also a Bob Rock record. So It's not like it was a big stretch from Dr. Feelgood. Do you think it would have been like, if Vince stayed in the band for that album, what do you think would have...
I don't know.
That's a tough one.
It's so hard because their whole career, there was the leave, the back, and then Tommy leave, the back, and then this and that, and it's all kind of in turmoil.
Yeah, always.
Right?
What's your top pick for
pick?
Yeah. For
top pick on the Motley Crue self-titled 1994 release.
What is it?
Till Death Do Us Part.
What? Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love that song.
Love that song.
Good pick, man.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's one of those songs, and I do a lot of traveling for work, and I just crank it, and I love that song. I just, there's something about it, the melodic structure, everything is just, it's so good. That's my number one on that album.
For myself, personally, I love Misunderstood.
Hey, that sounds like a Scream tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good.
You're good. You're right. Well, it is.
It is.
But it comes in with like the acoustic intro on the 12 string, which I love, and then it kind of builds up speed, and then then it kind of does like a Kashmir groove with the symphony sort of horns in the back.
Great song.
I love that tune, and then it just keeps building by the end. Hey,
awesome.
Misunderstood. Yeah.
Okay, so second favorite song on that album.
Oh man, Dropping Like Flies.
Well, I'm going with Hooligan's Holiday.
Oh, Hooligan's Holiday.
Yeah.
That's a tough one because that's honestly an album where I'm like, what else do I like? Hooligan's Holiday,
all of it,
Dropping Like Flies.
I like it all.
Yeah,
it's
a
super
great
cool album.
If you haven't listened to it, if you're not a fan of it, just pick it up. Do yourself a favor.
Don't even think about it. Don't think it's the Crue.
We're down to top two.
Top two. Come on. Could there be any other two? We knew what was coming at the top of the list. Now, who's coming in at number 2?
Number 2 is going to be Too Fast for Love.
Too Fast for Love.
I love this
Yes.
Yeah, man.
What a great album.
To me, this is like, okay, I borrowed
The
this. Debut Motley Crue.
Recorded for what? $600 or whatever they said they recorded
Yeah, it was something
for?
cheap.
Yeah.
I have the original leather record remix of that album.
Stick to your guns.
Yeah, with Stick to Your Guns on it. Hey, how cool is that?
That's awesome.
And then Livewire has a different mix too with the hand clapping. They added that in and like a different like fill kind of thing.
Great album. Unbelievable album.
For first album, bands.
I could have flip-flopped and put this as number 1.
I was flip flopping too on it.
I could have.
But it's like their first album. They self-recorded it. Sounds a bit like they did, but it also sounds good for the era.
Isn't that what makes some of the magic though
I know,
sometimes? And we talk about bands like Faster Pussycat and this and that in their first release and
Yep.
and the infancy and that maybe not the most technically talented players and the sound isn't always there, but there's some magic that occurs.
Yes.
And I feel like Too Fast for Love is one of those albums that sonically maybe isn't the best, but I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change a single thing on it because all the cowbell and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything is on that album is so good. The songs are so good. I love how Vince's voice sounds because Vince's voice changed after that.
Yeah, it did.
He had this youthfulness to his voice. They had a hunger, a desire, and they weren't all just heavy rock, but it had some punk influence.
Yes.
It had some. It's hard to even explain, but it's such a gem of an album.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's one of my top favorite albums of all time.
Mine too.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. What I like about it
It's not a bad song.
is I like that sort of lack of experience.
Yeah.
The sort of youthful drive towards putting it out there. I love the punk rock aspect of that album.
Yes.
To me, that was like everyone sort of puts out a punk rock album as their first album because they're figuring it out. They're trying to write songs as a band. Everything's kind of a little more up tempo, maybe. You know what I mean? Before they figure out how like to deepen the groove a little bit. But
It was so perfect.
so good, yeah.
It was the right magic at the right time.
And it broke them through. I mean, what was your big hit on that tune, or in that album?
Oh, I gotta think about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go first. Man.
Wait. What was it? What was it? No, I gotta think of it. I forgot it. What did I pick out? Oh, I know what I picked.
Okay, let's hear it, bud.
My favorite track on this album, I picked Too Fast for Love.
Oh, did you really? You can remember that one?
Too Fast for Love. And again, coming back to Carnival of Sins,
Mm-hmm.
when you watch them play Too Fast for Love live, what a great song.
I know.
My number 2 on this album is going to be Come On and Dance.
Oh, really?
I love it. I love it.
Man, that is
Come
awesome.
on and dance. You know the best is at the ending when he's like, he's just
Oh, he does that
screaming so
high
high.
scream,
It's
yeah.
so good.
Okay, well, it's no surprise. My favorite on this tune is got to be Live Wire.
Live Wire.
First song on the album, first exposure to Motley Crue, first view of their video, Mickey Six burning his pants. But Mick playing
Awesome.
that black Les Paul, it sounded so heavier than everything, because I guess they're already down tuned to D at that point. But I love the start and the stops in the song. I love how he sings it.
Yeah.
It's like the double kicks, like.
Oh.
But
awesome.
it was tough because I was thinking Too Fast for Love. What's the sort of the ballad at the end of the
Tonight?
tonight?
No, tonight's on.
I can't remember. I like the and then Too Fast for Love. What's another? I just blanked. Doesn't matter.
Ricky and I just
Yeah,
the
that one.
other night.
And then Too Fast for Love. Too fast for love.
Huh.
Yeah,
Great album.
great album. And for me, I guess because I had the original mix, Stick to Your Guns.
Stick to Your Guns. That
I
was a
know.
great track too.
Why would they cut that?
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. So that only leaves us one album left.
How?
We all know what it is.
Yep, you got it.
It's the one and only Shout at the Devil.
Shout at the Devil.
Shout at the Devil. Probably, I'd say, most Crue fans' favorite.
I would
might
say so,
be.
yeah.
I don't
Seems
know.
like it, hey?
If you got a different opinion, let us know. But Shout at the Devil, what can you say about it? It changed, it revolutionized metal.
Mm-hmm.
It was so exciting when it came out. And the opening track, Shout at the Devil, you got stuff like Too Young to Fall in Love. You got your... What's it called?
Looks like Kill.
Looks at Kill.
Oh, man.
Right? And the whole thing. And then you got the cover of Helter Skelter. And
Yeah.
it just... The sound, everything was coming together for Motley Crue. It was a heavier style, right? And I think fans just latched onto that. And it blew up. It blew up.
I think it was a combination of looks and the songs and the production sort of set the template for 80s metal, I would say. And I love like the big heavy eye makeup and
They became the golden child of metal.
Yeah.
Right?
And the big like ripped hockey equipment or whatever they had on the shoulder pads and all. I love that look for them.
I loved it. I loved it.
For me,
A little bit of makeup. I'm always a sucker for makeup in metal.
I know.
You know that.
I love the glam rock sort of stuff, hey.
Just like you like woes and
woes and yes and hand claps. But yeah, Motley Crue, I think that was their best produced album other than Dr. Feelgood.
yeah.
So I don't
That's
know
great.
how it went from Shout at the Devil to Theater of Pain,
Yeah, it's kind of a weird
because it's the same producer, same production,
flip flop, but
different.
hey,
Whatever.
that's why you go from number 1 to number
None.
7.
Yeah, right. But Too Young to Fall in Love, Looks Like Kill,
Yes.
Shout at the Devil already has more good songs than Theater of Pain. with
All
those
just
three.
great songs.
For me, Red Hot.
Red Hot.
Ooh,
Man, I love when they
have to
play
get
that live. See, I've seen Motley Crue live probably, I would say 8 or 9 times. I've seen
Yeah.
them a ton. I've probably seen them more than any other band live.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But they still play that song, I think, from the first album.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or from the, I guess,
From
that second
Shout.
album.
Yeah.
What's your favorite tune on that one?
Top tune on this album, 10 Seconds to Love.
Oh, really?
Love it.
Oh,
Love
that's
that
awesome.
song. That's my number 1 go-to on Shout at the Devil.
Wow.
Absolutely. Love it, love it, love it.
Okay.
Can't get enough.
I know, right?
And?
For me, it was Bastard.
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 Wow, yeah.
Ding,
Good song. There's another
ding,
fun
ding.
song to play.
That to me had a bit more of the punk edge from the first album.
Yeah.
And I like how they go, Bastard! Like
Yeah.
the gang vocal style, you know? It was a good mix between punk and then a bit of the metal Mick Mars riffing going on.
Nice.
Yeah, and I love the sort of like the weird drum intro thing that happens. How it sort of crashes to the start, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Very cool.
Yeah, Bastard. Anyways.
Bastard.
That was a tough pick. I debated
Cool.
the most on this album. What was my favorite?
Man, I love it. I love that we had this discussion because I think, the Crue's both one of our favorite bands
Yeah,
of
100%.
all time. Maybe not so great now, and they could have called it quits a while ago. But they're still out there. They're still entertaining fans.
Yeah.
Whether Vince can sing or not, whatever. Who cares?
Whatevs.
For the people that are going to the concert, they're enjoying the concert. They're having fun, and that's what it's about. You're out there experiencing the nostalgia.
You're right.
So, but yeah, good on the Crue.
I think fans would sort of replace the terrible singing with like how they heard it in their youth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it fills in that blank.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So there you got it.
There we
You
go.
got the countdown. You got Rockin' Danger's
Rockin' Dangering.
Rockin' Danger's opinions that really are irrelevant and nobody really cares.
I
but-
care, man, so much.
At the end of the day, it's just a couple of old dudes talking.
Living it all the way. Time to fly, hit the sky like a mother.
What's Nikki Sixx got to say about his top list?
Nikki Sixx should call us up, eh?
Can you imagine?
Yeah. We got some words for you, Nikki.
I got some questions too.